Hey everybody, I'm doing this indoors because it was just too late by the time I got home from work. It was just too dark outside to go to the park, and they don't allow you to be in the park in the dark here because it's a retarded town. So I ended up having to do, be indoors, indoors to film. Um, yeah, so what I was talking about is what my mother has done and the abuse I endured in childhood with my mother and father when they were together. Um, I always kind of like jumped in between them when they were fighting, and one time my dad had a knife, like a butcher knife, I believe. It was pretty big. Not sure if it was that big. Maybe I just assumed it was bigger than it was. Um, so then I stood between them, and I was like crying. I was like, no, if you loved me, you wouldn't hurt mommy or something. It was like, I guess back then I had an attachment to her, but I don't even remember really having a close attachment to her or a good attachment to her. I don't remember any good feelings towards her. So that was kind of weird. I remember saying that, so I must have had those feelings at one time. But I was like 6 years old then. I don't know. My dad still lives in that house, in that apartment. It's not even a house. It's an apartment in New York, and he still lives there. And every time I go there, which is not often anymore, I feel like weird. I don't like being there. I feel uncomfortable, and just the energy is negative. So I'm pretty sure there was a lot more that happened that I don't remember because I don't remember a lot of things like missing from my memory. It seems many years between that time I was there for 11 years. So um yeah, especially sleeping in one of the rooms. I'm scared to be in that room. It's so creepy, and I feel so uncomfortable. I just have a feeling that maybe I don't know, remember certain things that might have happened there. It's very possible to have missing memories, they say, in therapy, but I don't know. I've never been to therapy for those specific reasons. Um, so, it was bad. They were pretty violent and volatile towards each other for what, how many years they were together, like 11 years. And then when my mom left, she went directly into a new relationship with the guy, and I found out that the guy she knew from her childhood or whatever, and so they moved into an apartment together. Well, all of us did, and the guy was just crazy. Like he would drink a lot, and he'd bully me, and punished me like for stupid things and like not physically. He wouldn't do it yet. He didn't do it yet, physically punishing me, but he did take. Like I was really into super soakers then, and I used to have my friends. My friends used to come over, and we would play with the water guns and the super soakers. Um, and one day, I forgot what happened. Like one day, my friend, she was like a tattletale, and I would always get into trouble, and she'd be like, "Oh, so Gina did this and that, or whatever." She'd tell on me, and then for some reason, he would get really, really, really mad about it. At one time, he um he took my super soaker and he threw it out the window, and it was like 7 stories high. I believe it was. I lived in New York, so in New York City, and I was in one of those big car buildings. So we were real high up. We was like 7 stories up, and he throws it out the window. And I just looked at it going down and saw it shatter into little pieces, and I was just so devastated by that. Um, and there was also like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. I think it was a Rottweiler. Rottweiler in the outside like alleyway where it was thrown out the window. So and then the dog was there. It was weird. He started barking and stuff. He'd always be barking. But yeah, and I thought that was the first incident with him, and it wasn't even long after meeting him. It was really like within a few months or something. Um, and he would just really be aggressive towards me in the beginning, like in that way. But he didn't physically hit me or anything yet. So that was in the beginning. Um, she stayed with him a pretty long time, longer than with my dad. So, and then she ended up having 2 more kids with him. She had 2 kids with my dad, and then 2 kids with this guy. And they didn't get married. They never got married or anything. They were just together. And um, like so we lived in New York a little longer, and then like maybe a year after she separated with my dad, a year or two later. I don't even know. Like my memory's so bad. Um, uh, like a year or two later, and then we moved to New Jersey. We moved to North Jersey, and when I got there, I was just like, uh, what do you call that when you're in a new environment that's different from what you're used to? Culture shock. Yeah, it seems kind of like a stretch, but it was kind of like a culture shock because I'm from, the city and the like ghetto area, and then they just moved into this nice. Well, to me, it was real nice suburban area, and actually wasn't even that great of an area compared to the other end of the town of the city that I was in. But to me, it was like, wow, okay, what did we get rich or something? I was only like 12 years old. So I didn't know any better, but I was kind of happy about that. And, like, I started school there, and it was weird because, like, the kids would make fun of my accent and stuff like that because I had a really strong Brooklyn accent. And so they would make fun of me, and be like, "Oh, I don't know what they're talking about. Like, what kind of accent they mean. And that was weird. And then like uh, things with my stepfather would be weird. It would be like, okay, he'd be drinking a lot, and then he'd be nice, he'll act nice, and then something would happen where he would get real angry and violent and shit, and break a lot of stuff, like glass doors and stuff. Like he would break tables, like big things, not like little things like a cup or something. He would break like big things, and like the furniture, and that's how it started. Like first he started with me. Like I noticed something when he threw my super soaker out the window. That thing, like that was the first incident that he would act up, and then it just got worse throughout the years because we were with him. She was with him for a few years. She had the 2 kids and everything. Uh, so he would do that, and then the police started coming. Uh, what? Get out of here. Sorry, there's something on the screen. Okay. So, police would come often. Um, and then I was told, like, to not say anything about what went on. Like, usually it was between them, and they'd have fights, and he'd go crazy. But, I wasn't allowed to say anything. I would stay in my room, so I would just stay in my room the whole time, and then they leave. But then I would, I would listen in. Sometimes I wouldn't listen in. But, yeah, it happened a lot and often. Then we had to move from there. That makes sense, probably because of all the fighting and breaking shit and, craziness going on, because it was an apartment and we was living above somebody. It was in a house this time, but it was an it was a split house. So we had to move from there, and then we moved to like the few blocks down. Um, and it was kind of like the same setup. It was a house, apartment, split apartment. Um, and it was just like the same thing. It would be get worse and worse, and then sometimes he would get physically violent with my mom and stuff, and like hold her down and weird shit like that. But the thing is that this is what happened at first. He didn't start putting his hands on me until a little later. But she would actually scream and cry and like cry out for me to help her and stuff. This is what really bothers me to talk about, because like she denies everything that happened to this day. And so she would just be screaming for me to help her and call the police and other things. And what did I do? Of course I tried to help her. So I came out, and I was a teenager. So I would come out of my room, because I would be in my room while all this was going on. Where else, like really, where else could I go? At first I would go in my room, and then later on I would go out, like with my friends and stuff, and not come home. But so one time I went and attacked him because he was on top of her, and tried getting him off her, and then he ran towards me, like charging after me, and then he like put his hands on my throat and choked me and threw me to the ground. And then I was kind of like, I thought I was gonna die. And then she was behind him, telling him to let go of me and stuff. And he, I don't know, he didn't want to let go, it seemed, and then he did eventually let go. And I don't know, she's screaming, and I don't remember. And then, this was just one incident that I tried to like protect her, and then that's what happened. But there's other incidences, and one time, there's a lot of things. Like, one time we was drunk, and then he took my arm, and he twisted it like all the way back, and I don't know, I don't remember why he did it. I know he was drunk, but yeah, that hurt. He didn't break it, but it hurt, and I don't know what's in the background. Sorry, but there's like some stuff in the background. Um, yeah, and like he threw my head into the wall. One time I remember, like these certain things I remember, where it was and when it happened, but there was a lot of incidences, so I don't really think I remember all of them, but yeah, so I don't even want to think about it, honestly. But so a lot of times he would go after other people. It wasn't just me. It wasn't like, oh, target me. No, but like if he went after anyone else in my family, then I would always step in and try to like defend it. And I'm still like that. Like, to this day, like if I see somebody being like really badly treated, then I will step in. So just on an instinct kind of thing. And also throughout time, um, at school and stuff, there were like fights. Cause where I used to live, um, and there used to be fights like all the time in school. And I would, if they were my friends, I would always put myself in the middle of it and defend them, and then I would end up in a fight with somebody. So that was how it was. Um, but I always had anxiety, like because of all the things that has happened to me. I always have to be on alert and be vigilant, really hyper vigilant to things like this, and I'm still like that. And it just doesn't go away. No matter if I'm in a good environment and safe, it's there. Somehow it gets triggered. And I've had a problem with that. Trying to control that. But so yeah, now I can't breathe because this is upsetting me to talk about. I don't want to talk about it, but yet I think about it all the time. It's always in my head and memories. I have nightmares and stuff. And this is just the very beginning. Yeah, I don't even talk about my grandparents. But anyway, so and then they had the two kids, so there was like a full house, kids screaming all over the place. And I had my brother and myself. Oh, I lost my earring. Sorry. Um. Oh my god. Okay, so my life was like freaking crazy chaos. Like, not for me. I was just kind of hiding myself all the time from all of the chaos I had to hear and see. So it was wild. It was wild. Um, I have so many triggers. Like sometimes I have triggers and I don't even realize what it is. Like it could be the most random, innocent thing and it will trigger me back to to those days. Um, so what happened in school? Cause wow, at first, cause I moved there and they would make fun of me because of my accent and it was different. It's way different than the city. It was like kind of suburban, but it was still city. It was just to me, it was like wow, this is nice. Because of where I came out of. To me, it was like we we got our own house. I was thinking, but we weren't in our own house. We had a split apartment house. Um, yeah. So it just got bad from there. Like he so like when I was a teenager is when he would physically abuse me and stuff. So that's great for my social life and school. School was horrible. But then at first I was like, the outsider, didn't want to bother with nobody, stayed to myself. And then I ended up, I don't know, like where I lived was in the city, like right on the border of another city, which was really like had a bad reputation and it was just a bad area, and I always crossed into that. Um, I would cross into the border because it was literally like 2 blocks away from my house. The the other city I live in next to.